Hey everybody, this is Danielle Moon and I am with Women in Power and I have the amazing Geetha with me today and I'm going to have her start off by telling us a little bit about herself. So Geetha, please tell us who you are.
Danielle, thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to be having this conversation, this fireside chat with you. I am Geetha Sivasailam. I am originally from India, moved to the US back in 2006. It's been about 18 years here. I live in Dallas, Texas. I love travel. I am a foodie and I love to explore new places to eat and experiences to try. And on the professional front, I am a power addict. Started off as a pro dev and had found the art of possible and got really addicted to doing low code work. And currently I lead the power platform practice focusing on fusion dev, low code, and any AI experiences within Lantern, which is a Microsoft partner.
It's amazing. And I love doing these interviews because I always end up finding something new, which I didn't realize you came from the pro side, the pro dev side of this, which is a great story in itself because I think a lot of times we struggle to get anybody in the pro dev space to get excited about the power platform space. So I think in some other later chapter, we're going to have to unbox that a little bit more.
For sure. Yeah, I have to admit it was a change in the mindset, a paradigm shift to there have been times when you're there and you think, what am I doing here? I am a product. Like, what am I doing here?
But what happened?
You need to see those quick wins happen and actually have success. And once you learn, you realize the value. I'm always happy to talk to anybody who says they're not ready for it yet. And I was like, let's talk. I've been there too. So it's not easy. I'm totally with you on that, but let's talk.
Yeah, well, and it's funny too, because like I come from the very extreme, like functional side, right? Where I'm like, code, you're terrifying. Even though my mom was an AS400 developer. So like legacy wise, I come from someone who was like a groundbreaking developer and she wanted me to be in tech. And I was like, gross, I'll never work with computers. And now
look at you. Here you are. Yeah, you never know how things change. Yeah.
Exactly. You gotta love that. So thank you for sharing, a little bit about yourself. It's always, again, great to just kind of get those little nuggets of more information and things. So one or ask is, what drew you into the Women in Power community? Like, how did you come here?
Yeah, so I think what really drove me to the community is the opportunity to create a lasting impact through collective empowerment, I would say. I mean, here is where we not only dream big, but we also help each other achieve their dreams. And, we were able to build a network, be a part of it, learn from each other, and, actively even lift each other up. And of course, we can also drive both personal and career successes as well. So, and I've been always very passionate about advocating for women in tech. And so I'm hoping that this platform would enable everyone else who has the same passion and, help turn their passions into a purpose.
I love that. Yeah, that's amazing. And I actually recently met with another woman who's running, a similar group of women in tech, and it's actually the Women in Tech in Northwest Arkansas. And she said, hey, there's a of us at this table, and we run out of room, we'll add more chairs. Like we'll do more of this. And she's like, there's nothing to fight. It's better for us to demand a bigger table than it is for us to ask one of us to leave, right? And I was like, that's amazing, thought process that she has. And so it just really gave me even more excitement to say, like, okay, we've got a purpose. Let's drive more to that. So
we're all here for it. And she couldn't have said it any better. I mean, it's a very good way to put it.
Yeah, so like let's continue to build this table, invite more, right? Yeah, want to get a bigger restaurant at some point.
Yeah, we have space. We'll always have space to grow big. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So what are, like when you're looking at what you could get out of this community, was there anything at the top of your list that you're like, okay, it's this one thing, or was it just in general, I want to be part of this?
For me, it's not really one thing. It's a combination of things. But if I have to put it, like just give it very high level, like what I'm really looking for is the networking piece of it, being able to build those relationships and relationships that can actually last a lifetime. You never know who you're going to find your tribe here. And these are people who have come with similar mindsets, similar walks of life. Here is your opportunity to build that tribe. and then,
Yeah.
take it forward. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, like who knew it'd be so hard to make friends as adults? You
Right?
know?
Yeah. See,
But
there's
it's
really no age limit. There is no,
yeah.
this goes beyond borders. It doesn't matter which part of the world you live in. I mean, you are able to make friends and build a connection and learn and uplift each other across the board. So this is just getting very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned that you were a pro dev person before. What was the actual change that got you started in the Power Platform space? So was it your job that kind of directed you that way, or just you found it on your own?
So there's actually two parts to it. So
Okay.
I have two little stories, right? So back in 20, I think very early on when this was Power Apps was originally called Project Sienna. That's kind of like when I first
Oh,
started
okay.
off, right? I had a customer who was looking to, build something up really fast and they didn't have the time or the capacity to do it. And so I was, looking around. I'm a pro dev, so I'm like, yeah, I can build this, but it's going to take a while to build it. Let me see what else can we do. And then I stumble upon, oh, there's this new product in the ecosystem. Let me try doing things. So that was my first time that I had exposure to, oh, there is actually a
Okay.
low code world out here. And then I started looking out for people in the community who are already working on it or using the technology because I had questions. I wanted to meet other people. I wanted to know what everybody's doing with these tools. And I saw a Power App gamification competition put out by this group
Oh,
called Those Dynamic Guys back in the day. And
okay.
they were called, I mean, they've renamed now, but so they had this competition where everybody can submit their games that they built in Power Apps. And I thought to myself, oh, this would be perfect. I could use this as a fun way to learn the tool and,
Mm-hmm.
just take a known problem and try and
Yeah.
solve it. Let's do that. So I built a poker power app and,
Nice.
so all right,
Why
let's do
not?
this.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and then I built a roulette power app as well. And then that's the one that I submitted. I built that out and submitted a roulette power app. And then I was just amazed to see the other submissions that came in as part
Yeah.
of that gamification competition. There was Super Mario, this sophisticated, game, all sorts of games that there's this whole amazing, brilliant group of people from Japan who put in these amazing games. And I was like, wow, this is so much more
Yeah.
to learn. So that's my two quick stories of how I actually, started realizing that, oh, I can actually build a whole game in a couple of hours. That's It would have taken me a couple of days, more than a couple of days to build that in pro code. So it's like, look at what we can do here, They're like, and what if I take this for organizational success and see if we
Right.
can, accelerate their innovation? And so that's how I transitioned from doing. I still do pro dev, but I always advocate for if there is an opportunity you want to do low code, and low
Yeah,
code
there's
is
a
not
space
not
for it.
always the answer, but let's figure out what's the best fit here.
I still remember one of the first community ones that I saw when I was getting into this, and someone had put it where if you put in like the wrong information, they had bats fly across the screen. And I was like, what is happening? But at the same time, I'm like, what is happening? Like, how did you get that to work? Like it was
Just
just a
because we
really
can do it,
random,
we're able to do it.
right.
We're going to put it in there.
So now I find every time I do build something, I'm like, what kind of Easter egg can I put into this? That's, I'm like,
Yeah,
yes,
leave some
it's
little
solving
signature
business.
moves in
Oh
there,
yeah.
so we know this is Danielle's work right here.
Yeah, I had recently worked on one with one of my coworkers, and he's like amazing at building stuff, and I was like, what fun can we put into this very business, needed
Yeah,
application? I was like, what about when we hit the submit button, Ted Lasso GIF comes up and says boom. And
yeah,
he
right.
was like, why are you the way you are? And I'm like, make it happen. We're gonna put that in there. So sure
Oh
enough,
man, that is
uh, you
hilarious.
know, and that's one thing I do encourage, like, don't take yourself too seriously. Like, there's a space to have some fun creativity in this. Yes, you're
Yeah,
solving good things, you're getting good data coming in, you're
yeah,
working at Dataverse, but like save
yeah,
a little bit for razzle
yeah,
dazzle. Like that's what makes you, stand out. So
yeah.
so another thing I was going to ask you, because you are actually going to the Power Platform Conference, which is happening just in T minus, oh my gosh, what are we, 12 days
It was less
away?
than 2 weeks away.
Oh, oh my gosh. It's like it's a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Yeah.
but you're doing a workshop with April. So I wanted to make sure everybody knew that that was happening. Are there any other events during that time that people should be thinking of whenever they're at the conference?
I think some of the best moments or best things or takeaways that I've had from going to conferences is, yes, you want to attend the sessions because you gain a lot of information. Attending roundtables and customer success stories are a great way to see what others are doing with the platform, but
For
also
sure.
those hallway conversations that you have, people that you bump into,
Yeah.
Make new friends, meet your old friends, and make new connections and learn what everyone else is, doing with the platform. And I think
Right.
those hallway conversations and people that you bump into and build those connections can go a long way. I think that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and I think that's when living in the remote world that we do, I
Yep.
never realized how much I missed those random, unplanned conversations until you get exposure to them again. You're like, oh, this is where magic happens. Like this is where some good conversations happen because they're not planned in your calendar. You're not going like one by one. It's just more authentic, organic growth potential there.
Sure,
So
yeah.
yeah, perfect.
Those are the natural connections you want, because I mean it comes naturally, and you kind of go beyond the surface over there and create those relationships. So definitely something to look forward to.
Comes across better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
You never know how someone's reading you on a screen, and then you get in person, you're like, you are not what I expected.
It is one thing to look at people in those little circles on social media, and then actually seeing them in person. It's a whole different story. The physical element of it makes a big difference.
You're like, difference. Are you tall? Are you short? Like, what am I going to be looking up to you? Am I looking down? Because for 2 years I've seen you as this person on my screen. So yeah.
For sure.
No, that's great. So one question I would have in just general for this community is, as we're fostering the connections and driving that impact, is, why would someone want to connect with you? What's something that you're very passionate about that you think like, hey, this is what I would love for people to reach out and talk to me about?
Yeah, sure. So let's see. I, of course, I came from a pro dev background, and I do low code, so that is definitely an area that I can help people understand. If you are someone who's doing pro code and you are trying to find that comfort zone for low code, I mean, I'm very happy to talk to you about that. And if people have any questions about anything at all, it doesn't have to be just technical or career oriented. If it's even soft skills, things that I can share based off my experiences. I've been fortunate to have very amazing mentors in my life as well, and so I'm always happy to pay that forward. And and there's always something to learn in every conversation. You meet someone new, you find something new, you learn something new. And so hit me up on LinkedIn or on Twitter. I will be very happy to do the best in my abilities to see how we can empower each other, uplift each other, and learn from each other.
I love that. That's awesome. So I know pro code is that piece of it with you. Would that also be what you would say is like your greatest passion area is finding the blend between the two?
I think Fusion Dev is I'm most passionate about Fusion Dev. Yeah. I'm always looking for opportunities where we can get the best value out of investments that organizations have made and businesses have made. And a lot of times, it is not a very known fact. There are misconceptions about how the two worlds can unite and can enable more collaborative work and drive success in the long run. And so that is definitely an area that I'm very, very passionate about.
Okay, so if you had to decide on a superpower, what would your superpower be?
Oh, that's a tough one. All right. I would say my superpower is the ability to connect deeply and authentically with people. I believe I have a natural knack for building relationships, and I'm always looking to do that in a way that go beyond the surface, like being able to create the trust and have that collaboration, whether it's bringing different people together from different walks of life, or if it's even like sparking meaningful conversations, or even nurturing like long-term relationships. And it'd be a surprise to how you could have a friend that you've known for so long that you haven't had the chance to meet in person. You could still thrive in that. And I thrive in such environments where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. And it's more than just networking. It's about fostering those genuine connections that, can
Yeah.
lead to shared success and just being happy for each other.
I think you do such a great job of like humanizing the experience, right? Like we're in this tech space. It's so easy to just think about the
Yeah.
technology and drive that value, and oh yes, you can get promoted, you can change your career, you can drive some more money. But I love the fact that I think at the end of the day you're so good at bringing that human aspect, talking
Yeah.
about the soft skills. Like you could be
Yeah.
great at technology, but if you don't have soft
Yeah,
skills, you're going
for
to get put
sure.
into a box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
And
combination
don't
of
get me
things.
wrong,
Yeah.
there's some
Yeah.
amazing developers that I'm like, I will feed you pizza, but please don't talk to
Yeah.
my customer.
Yeah, yeah. And I think,
Like, I think you having that
everybody has
awareness is
their
amazing.
own, soft
Yeah,
zones and they have their own comfort zones, but there's a combination of things that can take someone a long way,
yeah,
based on whatever they're doing in their lives. Yep.
yeah, perfect. Okay, so I spoke yesterday during the LinkedIn thing that like we had really started formulating our board of directors and getting to this next level of achievement within the Women in Power community. And so with that, you actually took on the director of events and networking. So would you like to take just a minute or two to kind of talk about what you're envisioning and what your big plans might entail, even if it's just like a little bit of a sneak peek within that?
Sure. Yeah, I think so. I will be co-chairing that with Snehal, who's also another amazing community member. And one of our goals is to create an engaging and impactful experience that fosters genuine connections and opportunities for growth for everyone. So we're hoping to design events that not only brings the community together, but also create those lasting bonds where you can have shared learning and mentorship and focus on having a more supportive community where everyone feels empowered to share their knowledge, expand their network, and also accelerate your personal and career goals. So I'm hoping that through having these meaningful events and strategic networking activities that we can put together, we'll be able to drive individual success, but at the same time also drive collective progress. So that is something that I'm very, very excited for and looking forward to.
Yeah, awesome. So if anybody has, should they just be connecting with you guys on that just to start building out? Maybe here are some ideas that we have that might be great, and then we can start seeing where the excitement is around, right?
Yes, bring it on. Yeah, we're all
Perfect.
ears and very happy to get this kicked off and get it off the ground.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm so excited to have you introduced out to the community so that everyone can know that you are there and you're driving so much impact and value. And I just can't wait to see what our next chapter includes. Of course, I'll be seeing, and I'm definitely squeezing a good old hug out of you when I get to meet you finally in person at the
Yes,
Power
I can't wait
Platform
for it.
Conference.
But Daniel, thank you so much. Thanks for having me. And thanks to you for your vision and this brainchild of yours that has given all of these amazing women who have the same passions to have the opportunity to bring that to the table and start helping each other out. So definitely very thankful. And I'm very glad we crossed paths through this. I can't wait to see you at the conference. And you're going to probably get a more stronger squeeze from me.
Oh, wait, and if anyone sees me there, please know, like, just tackle me, and I'm so excited to meet everybody, and I will probably be like vibrating around with so much excitement. So, okay, well, thank you everyone for watching this next little episode that we had, and Geetha, thank you again for just being an amazing advocate in this space and helping us lead the way into what this community is going to become. So, we will see you guys another time, and appreciate you watching. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.